Hey, Satnam friends. Welcome to our second question and answer class, bright and beautiful course. And thank you again for all the great questions. And I really enjoyed our first session. And we're going to dive right into these as well. I'm going to tune in first and love for you to join me. And then we're going to dive right into your questions. So please bring the hands into prayer pose. And inhale deep. Namo Gurudev Namo Om Namo Gurudev Namo Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Okay, and also if you're getting to these question and answer classes later, I know many people take them on the replays, the recording of this class, and you missed your chance to ask questions. Well, part of being a Life Force Academy member is you get access to the Life Force Academy forum, which is a private Facebook group we have. That's a very good place to ask questions. I often am responding to people's questions there, but then there's, like 2,000 other members that will also answer questions, and a lot of people know the answer to a lot of these. And so you can absolutely, connect in over there. And I know a lot of you are already Life Force Academy members, so that's another good place to ask questions, even about this course. It's fine. So let's jump in. Okay. So first question: could you recommend some online stores or places where I can find authentic yoga clothing, clothes that are made with white, made of natural fibers, organic, etc.? Where do you buy head coverings, turbans? I'm having a really hard time finding anything that is not made of synthetic rubbery fibers or brightly colored or grossly overpriced in trendy mainstream shops. Okay. I'm not the best resource for this, but I can give you I can definitely point you in the right direction. Um, Head coverings, well, like head wraps, like I do, that's just like long fabric, really. You can get that anywhere. I usually get this stuff in India, but you don't have to go to India. There's plenty of places you can go. Here's a couple. You can go to spiritvoyage.com, spiritvoyage.com. They start off as a music business, but they also sell clothes. And you do, as you mentioned, you do want to make sure not only is it natural fabrics, but for yoga practice, ideal is cotton. And if it can be organic, that's even best. And white cotton, white expands all colors. Black, like I'm wearing currently right now, contracts the magnetic energy. It absorbs all colors. So white is going to have an expansive effect on your magnetic field. Darker colors don't have that. So when we're practicing, it's ideal, you can practice in any color. We don't make big deals about this. These are fine-tuning things. But that's why you'll see anytime I'm teaching a yoga class, I'll always be in white. And anytime I'm doing any significant practice, I'm going to have white. It's just going to help. And we cover the head to help for energetic purposes, not religious purposes. And that's explained in the course. We tie the top of the hair on the top of the head, as it helps to create the lifting energy of the prana in the body. Even they used to call the bun on the top of the head like a rishi knot, which rishis were the great sages of India, and they understood that the hair is the most subtle protein, and that it has interaction with solar energy, which has an interaction with the kundalini. And in fact, the word Kundalini literally, if you break it down, translate as lock of the hair of the beloved. And so the hair is intertwined with your energy system. And then we cover, sometimes if you ever, some people experience, they'll get little headaches from a lot of energetic movement from Kundalini Yoga. And those people often find that if they cover their head, they won't experience the headaches. Now you can buy head coverings like knit, kind of like nice, like cotton knit white head coverings that look good on most people and work, but you don't have to wear a head covering to do Kundalini Yoga. For teachers, the teaching organization asks all teachers to cover their heads, but to practice Kundalini Yoga, it's not a requirement. So spiritvoyage.com is one, and the other is a friend of ours has a clothing company called Longtime Sun. So if you type in like Longtime Sun apparel, let me see how we can find them real quick. I'll just do it right here. Longtime Sun apparel, yeah. You just Google Longtime Sun apparel, or you go to longtimesunapparel.com. Kundalini Yoga clothes, and all her stuff is going to be, the type of stuff you're looking for. So they have scarves and head covers, women's, men's, lifestyle accessories, Longtime Sun apparel. Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, and moving onward. Bright and Beautiful module stretch pose is great, and I love it, but my neck doesn't love it. Will one get the same benefits if the head is not lifted, or what? I'm not sure if it's cheating if I put one arm under my head to support the head. Well, what I would do is start with using some sort of a prop. Maybe you roll a little blanket or something underneath your neck. And the way to actually, and that's not uncommon for people to have neck discomfort in stretch pose. And that will alleviate over time once you actually build your core strength. And once you build your core strength, it'll help to take the pressure off the neck in most cases. So what I would do is, in the meantime, roll up a towel or some blanket and put it underneath your neck to give you support to where you're still lifting your head. But the thing in stretch pose is that, and we explain it in the course, is you want to make sure you have a good core engagement, root lock engagement. And you want to also lift through your chest while you're in stretch pose. So the chest is lifted and the chin is in and the shoulders are dropped. Shoulder blades are dropped down the back. And that that will take the pressure off the neck, but that also may take some time to develop the ability to do that properly. So you be patient with yourself and modify in the meantime. So your two modifications are going to be take your hands into fists, put them under your butt, make sure to the best of your ability your shoulder blades are released down the back, and make strong legs and strong root lock, perineum, rectum, sex organ area. And make your legs strong, the glutes strong, real strong lower body. Keep your chest lifted, chin gently tucked, shoulder blades released down. Some people tuck the chin too much and lift the head up like this instead of a lifting of the chest with the chin slightly tucked in. And so use a prop under your neck for the meantime as you develop the musculature that will give that support from the lower body to the upper body. And then let us know how that goes. Thank you for that question. Okay, next one. I teach Vinyasa Yoga, and I like to incorporate some of the more universal breathing exercises and movements from Kundalini Yoga in my classes. I do so carefully. I'm wondering if I should lead a class to open with Om Namo Gurudev Namo and close with Satnam, since I'm not officially trained in Kundalini Yoga. It seems a bit out of line. More generally, is it okay to share these exercises I learned through this course with yoga classes without complete Kundalini training? I would not integrate a Kriya into a Hatha Yoga class. It's generally recommended not to really mix the two. With that being said, I need to kind of know more specifics. If you're like just using like a couple warm-up exercises or something like that, it could be okay. But in general, it'd be better to, if you're going to do Kundalini Yoga Kriyas, that it's It's not really part of a vinyasa practice. So we don't want to be like too rigid about things, but at the same time, we don't want to dilute things either. So if you want to connect with us and give a little more specifics about that, but in general, I wouldn't include a Kriya in a Hatha Yoga class. Okay, thank you for the question. It's a bit of a complicated question. It does come up quite a bit, but I'd be happy to chat with you about it. Okay, I want to let you know that I am enjoying Bright and Beautiful very much, and I hope that there will be a meditation that will be ideal before we go to sleep. I'll benefit from a soothing routine to help relax and have a peaceful sleep. I also purchased your wife's album, and it's uplifting. Great, thank you. Well, I really think Kirtan Kriya is a beautiful meditation before sleep from one of the later modules. I can't remember, is it 3 or 4? I think it's 4, I'm not sure, but beautiful before sleep. Another option, if you're a Life Force Academy member, go into the Life Force Academy and go to power practices and do the power practice that you use for before bedtime. It's a special meditation that's specific before bedtime for a deep and restful sleep. Okay, next. It is so hard today. Why are some days difficult? But that's just how it is. Some days are difficult, other days are not difficult, and I think the difficult days are just as important as the days where it's really blissful, and sometimes more important, because those are the days where you develop grit and you develop character and you really test your commitment. And so I think those are really, really important days when it's very difficult, and I think maybe you get the most benefit from those days. So it's difficult, but we are the types of people who do difficult things, because we understand that doing proactively difficult things that are going to strengthen us and make us brighter, make us more radiant, are the types of things that are more than worth doing proactively, because it makes all the rest of our life much, much easier and much, much in harmony with what we're really here to do as human beings, and clear. Because if we try to avoid difficulty, then life ends up being difficult anyways, and sometimes that style of living can end up on the back end with a net of more depletion, and so we want to be proactive in terms of how we approach things. Okay, I have purchased 2 courses, The Sweetest Love and Bright and Beautiful, and I would love to attend the immersion in June. Could you please send an email with further details on how I can book this event? Hopefully you registered and got in. We had such a flood of so many people who joined the Bright and Beautiful course that this the June immersion sold out in early December. So we do have a waiting list, and I would recommend getting on that. But if you go to our website, go to the immersion page, it has a lot of, it's super easy to book that in, but you can always email support@jaydevsingh.com, and our team is happy to help you. Okay, moving on. On to the next question. In your class, The Art and Science of Prayer, at the end you played a Long Time Sun by Simrit, and I bought it, but it was not the beautiful version you played in your class. That is a version by Hari Bhajan Kaur, is her name. Hari Bhajan, and the album is On This Day. Bhajan, H-A-R-I, Hari, Bhajan, B-H-A-J-A-N. If you Google Hari Bhajan, On This Day, you'll find that. Okay. Hi, Jaidev. I'm loving the course. Can I ask you why you wear a silver bracelet on each wrist? Sure, yeah. These are called katas, and they also are part of yogic technology. Katas they're made of stainless steel. You can get one at spiritvoyage.com as well, and these katas have mantras engraved into them, and they add a quality of stainless. They give you protection. They add the steel quality to your magnetic field, and it has a protective power to them, and that's why we wear them. And again, not necessary, but some people like to do that. Comes from the Sikh Dharma tradition. And yeah, I love them. And I've been wearing them since I was 18 years old. And yeah, they have beautiful energy about them, but they need to be stainless steel. That's the key. Some of them are gold and steel. Okay. Also, where can we find the replay of the Q&A sessions will be on the course homepage. Okay, and I found the instructions of Breath of Fire to be incomplete, as well as how to do long, deep breathing exercises. It's fine to see you by doing them, but how long for each breath type? As far as the Breath of Fire goes, could you please go into more detail on how to work the stomach? You say to draw the navel in during the exhale. Can you be more specific? All right, sure. So with Breath of Fire, the navel point, which is just below the belly button, as we explain in the course, comes up and in like this, like, and then the abdomen just relaxes on the exhale part. Excuse me, I'm confusing you now. On the inhale, you see my hands? So that's when the navel's going in. And that's when the navel's relaxed. The abdomen's relaxed, navel's in, abdomen's relaxed. Like that, like that. And when you start slow, it takes practice. And it does take practice. Sometimes it's awkward for folks at first, but the more you practice, the just more easy and simple. Eventually, you can be. And you won't even be thinking about the navel and stuff, but of course, at the beginning, you have to. And so, so there's not a specific time length for each breath type. Again, you're doing it within the context of the practices. So you can do them. You can do them for as long as you want, actually, or as short as you want. And just rereading your question, make sure I got all the different parts of it, as well as how long do you do the breathing exercises. Okay. Yeah, I hope I clarified that and what you do with the stomach part of it. So as the exhale, the navel's coming in and kind of up, but just focus on it going in now. The up part will come later. And I would recommend by starting really slow, just so you can start to get it, and try not to focus too much on the mechanics once you do it. Actually know what the mechanics are, but then once you're actually starting to try to practice it, try to just focus on, that's why I really say just focus on the mantra. Sat on the exhale, nam on the exhale. Sat on the exhale, nam on the inhale. Sat, 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 sat. So everybody inhale, exhale, and then inhale, and so. And it's more about trying to just establish a bit of a rhythm and trying to just kind of rhythm and groove your way into it. And it starts to make sense and the mechanics start to come together. So hopefully that's a little bit more helpful too. Thank you for your question. Okay, and I can hold the breath 8 times longer on the top of my inhale than I can on the exhale. Will this regulate itself in time? I'm absolutely loving my practice and it's changing my life. Thank you. Yeah, it might regulate itself. You can hold the breath. That's natural. You can hold that breath 8 times longer on the top of your inhale than you can when your exhale is held out. Sure, that may regulate itself as your breath capacity changes, but it's not a problem, and so you may find that that changes a good bit, especially with more practice on that exhaling the breath out. Okay, Jaidev, I love these practices. I have tight hips. I bet this practice is best. As each module comes out, I practice that one every day. Would you go back to previous ones? And it is okay to do more than one practice in a day. Sure, you can absolutely go to previous ones and absolutely practice more than once per day. No problem whatsoever. Glad you're enjoying the course. Okay, next question. Which module exercise should I try to do each week? I have listened to all three modules and wondered, should I go back and start over, or just concentrate on one or two exercises? Well, what I recommend is choosing out of the exercise sets that we do in the course, choose, perhaps like the spinal series from module 2 and then do Sat Kriya at the end, or you could do Satanama. You can mix and match, but choose an exercise set and one of the meditations, meaning either Sat Kriya or Kirtan Kriya or meditation for a calm heart, and do those at try to find like a practice that you do pretty consistently, and it can be from any point in the course, or you can go back and do module 1 exercise set one day, module 2, you can mix it and match it. But I think it is important to try to get clarity on what you want to do within the constructs of the course, and then do that. And I hope that's answering your question here. But what I recommend in general is to focus more simply, meaning to choose one exercise set and one meditation and do those for a minimum of 40 days. And you could go more, like 90 days or 120 days. And then if you want to switch it up, switch it up. But I think you get more bang for your buck, so to speak, if you focus on the one practice and you do that consistently. Now, other people like to do the same meditation every day, but they'll mix up the exercises that they do, and that's fine too. So, but that is what I recommend, is actually sticking to a certain practice and doing that for a longer period, and switching it up after 40, 90, or 120 days. Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, Satnam Jaidev, I would like to thank you for the bright and beautiful course. The in-depth understanding of the Kriyas, poses, and teachings have been very helpful to my own practice and understanding of Kundalini Yoga. My questions have to do with the physical elements that have been coming up during and after my practice. During the breathing exercises, I feel some of the muscles in my chest and back becoming sore. I've never taken so many deep breaths and expanded my lungs and chest as much as I have recently. Do you think it's because bad posture, or will it subside after a while once my body becomes more accustomed? Yeah, I think you probably just haven't done, I think it's like anything else. If you're working muscles that you haven't worked recently, it's going to be sore. That may go on for a little bit of time, but I would expect that that starts to alleviate. Also, during deep breathing, my ears tend to pop like it does in high altitude, and has a distracting effect and makes it difficult sometimes. Is this normal? I actually haven't heard that before. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but and all those tubes, the ear channels, the breath channels, they're all interwoven and connected in there. So it doesn't sound too unusual, actually. I don't remember hearing of that happen. I haven't had that happen myself. You can always get it checked out if you feel like you want to, but I haven't heard that myself. And it's many thanks again for your teaching. Lots of love and infinite blessings. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I would say with the ears thing, see if that subsides. And if it doesn't, maybe you have somebody look in those ears and see, maybe what's going on in there. Doesn't sound serious, but might be worth getting looked at. When I suspend my breath, I feel a sense of panic. Does that happen to a lot of people? That's not. I wouldn't say that's unusual, because when you suspend your breath like that, it's deeply connected to fears of death, because it's the only thing that is keeping us alive is our breath, and then we suspend it, and sometimes it has a subconscious reaction in people where they feel anxiousness, or in some cases even panic. And I would say keep doing it. Don't necessarily overdo it, but be gentle with it. Increase the breath capacity to where you start to feel that coming up, and then alleviate it, and then do it, and it'd be a very healing experience for you to get to the point where you can suspend your breath without panic. So that meditation for the calm heart would be really good for you. And it would be something you can do slowly, inhaling. Just suspend for a very moderate amount of time. Don't overdo it, but hit the edge of it a little bit with your breath suspension, and exhale. And if you need to just stop the meditation altogether and just let your breath flow naturally and pay attention to your breath, and just see if you can take yourself to an observer of the phenomenon as opposed to being too deep wrapped up into it. And I know that can be difficult if somebody's feeling panic. It's hard to be an observer of it. You're feeling panic because you are wrapped up in it. But notice if you can observe your mind instead of be your mind. And observe what the mind is doing when there's a suspended breath. Don't overdo it. Just be gradual and increase your breath suspension times over time. But see if you can just observe it and not judge it. And it's not a bad thing that it's happening. It's a reason it's happening. And so as the more you do this, the more it's going to unwind that anxiousness tendency in the subconscious. And because if you're having panic when the breath is suspended, well, that is definitely affecting your mind's, the way it operates in other aspects of life. And I'm sure in an anxiousness style way. So, and it may not even be something we're aware of, but that's happening at such a deep subconscious level till you bring awareness to it. But the first way of healing is actually to bring awareness to something. So even by just bringing awareness to what's going on, and then not pushing it away, just allowing it to be there, the panic that is, it will start to subside. So I'm really looking forward to hearing how that process goes for you. So please do keep in touch with us. Okay, hello and thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, all right, next is, if your nose is a little stuffy, should one consider that as part of the challenge of this kind of yoga? No, not necessarily. If you're a little stuffy, you may be limited on what you can do until that alleviates. So, you may kind of change how you do it, or you're not able to do as much that day. Next question is, hello and thank you from my heart. I am not new to yoga. I used to do mainly Hatha yoga and some Kundalini, but I let an injury take me away from my practice. This has been a wonderful way to re-engage and utilize the power of Kundalini yoga in my healing process. Here's my question. When taking deep breaths, I tend to naturally fall into using the Ujjayi breath, which is like that. I do that often too. And is that appropriate for Kundalini? Yeah, you can, and using it in long, deep breathing. Or is it specific to Hatha yoga? You can use an Ujjayi style pranayama in long, deep breathing. Okay, and next question is very interesting that when I exhale and suspend the breath out, I find a place that I don't want to come back from. What is that? Oh, I don't know what that is, but come back, please. And yeah, I mean, I know it can sometimes feel blissful and like relaxed, and I don't know what it is you're experiencing, but I don't often don't analyze this kind of stuff too much, because I find that usually the most important things are not happening at the level of analyzation. And there's such a wide variety of, really infinite variety of experiences people have with these different things. And often they're not the same as what other people experience, and yet they're still normal and fine. But it's not so much, what is that, as much as it is interesting, Cool. All right, let's keep going, keep exploring, but make sure you just stay with the practice and how it's instructed to do it. Don't change it. Bright and beautiful. I'm now on module 3, and I love every part. And you are a very in-depth teacher. Thank you. I'm sure I'll have questions at some point, but for now I am in bliss. All right, great. Good. Next one. What kind of normal sensations do you feel after meditation? Do you recommend children doing this? There is no real normal, It's normal is you may feel great, you may feel irritable, you may feel anything. So I don't like to kind of project what normal may be. But if we were to say, you can often have a sensation of clarity, a sensation of calm. Sometimes it is, and it'll irritate, occasionally be irritable, and that type of thing too. So that's why I don't want to project specifically what normal is, because that depends on the person, where they're at in their progress, and so forth. And do you recommend children doing these? Sure thing. Yep, children do great. Sat Kriya? Sut? No, Sut, that would be from puberty onward. But otherwise, these are great for children. I have a technical problem with module 2 and 3. It stops playing. So tech problems, please email support@jaidevsingh.com. In the first Q&A session, I addressed what to do with this in short. You can pause the video, let it load for a bit, then play. But also there's a gear on the video. Make sure you have it on auto or low definition, not on high definition. Okay, and thank you for making the SD video available. You're welcome. Great. And I've had both knees and both hips replaced. I'm unable to sit on my heels as my flexibility is not back yet. Instead, just kneel during these exercises. Will I still get? Yes. Any way you need to modify these is totally fine, and you should. So, yeah, absolutely. Just a couple left here, I think. I love the modules. I've been doing them a month now, and lately I've cried during, wasn't able to continue. My life is at a crossroad right now, though I'm at 68 years old. Should I continue with this? Yeah, I think you should continue. Like, if it's causing you to cry, I think that's actually a positive thing, believe it or not. I think that's some deep clearing that's happening. And I really encourage you, to the best of your ability, don't be too tough on yourself, but as much as you can, keep going. Let those tears come, embrace that crying, and keep going if you can. So let me know how everything is going, but I would encourage you to keep on. I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's a very beautiful thing and not uncommon. Bright and beautiful. I can hold the top of the inhale for a very long time comfortably, but the exhale is not long at all. So it's just my mind or something that will strengthen over time. Yeah, it takes practice, little by little. Question 2, I practice every morning with passion and excitement. Find myself wanting to do another practice midday, or even 3 times in the evening as well. Can one practice too much? I guess one could, but if you want to do some in the middle of the day and then a little in the evening too, it'd be totally fine. Usually people doing too much isn't the issue. We could do more most of the time. I love and adore how I feel. I can't get enough. I listen to your teachings over and over. I want you to share with the world. I will teach one day when the time presents itself. Thank you, Jaidev. Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the comments and the questions. I can't sit on my legs with my feet under me due to an injury. What suggestions do you have for me when you're doing these types of kriyas? Well, as much as the exercises will permit, you can sit on a chair, feet flat on the floor. Do spinal flexes that way, hands on the lap. And the chair is fine if you need to do that. So I would use a chair for all the exercises that you can, and any other way you can modify that you can find this works, but it's very totally fine to do yoga with a chair. Okay. I think are we at the end here? I have been doing Kundalini yoga for 1 month only, but I've been doing yoga for a long time. I experience more sensitivity. I mean, I feel a lot more of what is going around and inside me. Is this common? That is very common. Now I get a pressure on inside the third eye. What is that all about? It doesn't hurt. Sometimes I feel like it's numb. It doesn't feel like clarity at all. What did I do wrong? You haven't done anything wrong. Sometimes there will be a little pressure there for temporary periods of time, and I've experienced that. And you're not doing anything wrong. I think you're actually creating probably some opening in some different pranic channels, and I would just keep going. And It's very normal to feel an increased sensitivity. And then now the next thing that we want to happen is keep doing the navel exercises like stretch pose and building the nervous system. So you can combine that extra sensitivity with nervous system strength. And I would say it sounds very normal and positive of what's happening. And I would really encourage you to keep going. Satnam, I'd love to add a before to bed practice. I answered this one earlier, the Kirtan Kriya. Or if you're a Life Force Academy member, there's a special practice in the power practice section for before bed. Okay, and that's the end of our questions. So beautiful. If you have more questions, I would really encourage you check out the Life Force Academy if you're not already a member. It's just a great, great resource and really the perfect thing to keep going with all of this after you finish the Bright and Beautiful course. We also have many other courses you could check out. Our Unlocking the Life Force, Complete Course of Ayurveda, the Radiant Body Course, Joy of the Infinite, Sweetest Love, the Supreme Sound. We have such a great library of courses, but really Life Force Academy is just $1 to try it out for 14 days. And you can connect with us on the forum there. And love to you all. Thank you so much for participating in Bright and Beautiful and opening your mind and opening your heart and giving this stuff a try. And I'm loving hearing from so many people who are getting cool experiences and feeling good, and it's helping them and helping you in your lives. And let's keep in touch. And so take our hands together in the prayer pose and chant 3 long satnams to seal our practice here together. And beautiful day, friends. Keep in touch.